Welcome to the Licensed to Live show, where professionals, doctors, champions, VIPs, attorneys, and those in public office discover strategies that help you restart and gain what is lost when you find yourself accused. If another has doubted your integrity, questioned your credentials, or caused your actions to come under scrutiny, you are in the right place. On the other hand, if you have never felt the knot in the pit of your stomach when legal papers are served, the heartbreak of disappointing your family when the lock clicks shut on handcuffs, or had to appear before a board of review, then be aware, the longer you serve, the more likely you are to find yourself under the microscope of those who judge. Prepare yourself for this uncomfortable possibility. Now, here's your host, Dr. Jarrett Patton.
Congratulations! You have been nominated for Author of the Year. That letter was just crazy when I opened up that email and saw that letter that came in the mail that was printed and said the same thing. I knew that after writing Licensed to Live, I got a story off of my heart, and I felt like I was on top of the world just because I had published my first book. Now, about a year later after the book was released, I get this email because I entered myself into an awards contest for my book. And I thought my literary piece told a story, it gave a piece of me, and it gave helpful tips so other people could come around out of this. So I said, you know what? Just being nominated for an award like this is awesome. Let me just throw on a suit, travel on down to Baltimore, see what's going on with these folks, and just sit here and enjoy the time. I really said, this is my first book I've ever written. I didn't even think that I was going to be selected for this award. But the awards show was pretty nice. They had a couple of celebrity faces in there. Got to hang out with Kim Coles for a while. And you can find pictures of me and her on my gallery page at drjarrett.com. But there's a lot of things that were going on that day. And when they get up to the stage and they say, and the winner is Dr. Jarrett Patton, I couldn't believe it. I was in disbelief. I stood up, and it was almost like, it was that Price is Right kind of show thing where they're like, come on down. I was jumping up and running on up to the stage to just accept the award because I hadn't even prepared remarks for an acceptance speech or anything like that. And that got me thinking about success and how success is measured and how do people have success in their lives. And hey, this episode is all about success. And I want you guys to stay tuned so you can hear a little bit more about how success can come into your life. Hey, this is Dr. Jarrett Patton. Do you need more positivity in your life? No matter what part of your life you want to transform, positive affirmations can help you achieve your goals. But sometimes making permanent changes can be difficult. Designed with you in mind, Licensed to Live, daily affirmations to rebuild your life will inspire and equip you to become the best version of yourself. Licensed to Live, daily affirmations to rebuild your life will set you on the path to changing your mindset, beliefs, speech, and ultimately your actions. You can change your life now by getting your copy at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, your finer book retails, or licensedtolive.com. That's licensedtolive.com.
Something smells good. EH3 coffee. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. Nothing better than waking up. EH3 in your cup. Premium organic. EH3 coffee. Nothing better than in the middle of your day. EH3 coffee. Premium organic. EH3 coffee.
This is Super Bowl champion Mike Logan, and you are listening to license to live.
Yeah, success is also having some sponsors. So I appreciate sponsors to the show. EH3, the License to Live brand, has always been a part of what we do. And, we're looking at success all over. But I tell you, when I got to the stage and just said thank you and was so incredibly honored to get Author of the Year award, I said, wow, this is what success must feel like. And, in some form, all of us measure success by what other people say or do. And that's not always the case when we're doing and thinking about success. In fact, affirmation number 61, I play a big role in my own career success. I play a big role in my own career success. And yeah, this is true because success, although oftentimes people look at, oh man, look at that house, look at that car, look at all these, materialistic things, or, maybe it's a bank account and people are looking at, a bank account with 8 figures in it and saying, yes, that's a level of success. But the key I'm telling you guys right off the bat today is that success is not defined by others. When you're measuring success, it's really about something that you measure and how you measure up against some other benchmark, whether it's an internal benchmark, you're just getting achieving your goals, whether it's an external benchmark, like you're trying to improve your time on running a marathon. But a lot of people have been asking about success. Some people have been getting on strategy sessions and asking about success. And if you want to hop on a strategy session with me anytime at timewithdrjarrett.com. But even Forbes magazine reached out to me in the last month or so, asking me to talk about one of my clients' greatest success stories. And when I wrote that particular success story down, I said, they may not even publish this. They may not even want anything to do with this one, because I talked about a client of mine who launched a business right after they got out of jail. So I'll leave the link to the article in the show notes, but they did publish that one. And it was an incredible success story. But when you're looking at success, you are talking about things that other people may assign to you. And I want you to take that off the table right now, because success really has to come from an internal measure and not these external measures of wealth, or look at that nice car, or wow, they have something that I don't have. Because when you are looking at life through that way, you are looking at life through the lens of scarcity. Like there's not enough to go around for everybody. And one of the mindset tricks you can do is to flip yourself to thinking about abundance. And abundance, the world is full of abundance. And I mean, you think about this earth and where you stand today on this earth, in this solar system, in this universe, in this galaxy. I mean, things start to get very minuscule very quickly. And so I want you guys to think about internal measures of success overall, because you can break your success measures into maybe short-term success and long-term success. For instance, hey, for some of you guys, including me, it was a success that I just made it through the night and was able to put my feet on the ground and had a voice strong enough to record this podcast today. That looks like success to me. When I hand this audio recording over to my podcast producer, that looks like success to me. And these are small mini successes. And you know what? I'm not going to be on the front page of USA Today because of that success, because, well, that's an external validation. But what I am going to do is have episode 127 recorded and off to the producer to get the show ready so that you can listen to it as you are right now. So I'm going to pause and thank all of you guys for listening to this show. It's something that I like to do. And you guys always send me little emails and subject matter to talk about. And because so many people have been talking about success, that's what we're doing today. But thank you guys for listening, and tell a friend about the show. Be sure to share it. And if something reaches out to you and you feel like, hey, this is a point that changed my perspective today, or maybe tomorrow, or even in your life, this is what we try to do here. This is what the conference is all about. Back in July, when we had the License to Live Conference 2022, it was about inspiration and learning to overcome things. And becoming an overcomer can come in many different ways. And we had expert speakers on the stage every single time. And they all have very powerful stories to say. Hey, and if you're running short on your CME credits, just go to licensed2live.com right now. You can get the replay of the conference and get 8.5 CME credits for doing so. So check out the conference replay. It's inspirational, and these stories will change your life, because I heard that time and time and time again. So back to our affirmation of the day. I play a big role in my own career success, and that's because you do. When I went off to Xavier University of Louisiana, shout out XU, I was having a great time in my life. I was on scholarship. I said, I'm ready to go pre-med. I want to go to medical school. And well, the next measure of success was taking the MCAT. And well, I did pretty decent. I didn't knock it out the park, but I did well enough that I said, this will probably serve me to get into some medical school, which things happen. So I went on to Case Western Reserve University and joined their School of Medicine. Success. I loved it. I said, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want to do. I ultimately chose pediatrics as my goal and got my residency. Success. So all of these steps along the way happened to success. But where did they come from? They came from short-term and long-term goals. Because after I went to my residency at NYU, I went on to practice pediatrics, and I knew that I wanted to learn more about leadership, which took me on a number of coaching journeys, grabbing some mentors along the way, and doing some formal education, because I wanted to move up that executive chain. I said, yeah, seeing patients in the clinic is fun. It's something I love to do, but I also want to change things. And my interest in equity, diversity, and inclusion ended up just kind of some work that I would do on the side within the hospital systems. And ultimately, I became president of the medical staff. Success. So, all of these things ended up happening in my life as something I was looking forward to, as a short-term goal, an intermediate goal, and a long-term goal. And my life seemed like it was going on absolutely fine. I was enjoying the things that I was doing. I was making change, trying to highlight disparities in health that may be going on in the system, and things couldn't be better. But, things change in life, and things change in my own life. And I wasn't being a physician executive anymore. I wasn't seeing pediatric patients anymore. And I started to have different short-term, intermediate term, and long-term goals. And some people may look at my life and say, hey, he had a measure of success. He had some things that weren't successful. But I don't care about that. I'm not looking for external validation. And sometimes when you're seeking success, you're looking for too much external validation, and you need to look inwards to this internal validation. So when I talk about success and the way people feel in their lives, that, well, they may not be successful because they think I'm not making enough money, or I'm not living in the house that I want to live in, or I have a lot more things to accomplish in life. Yes, that is true. But do not, I said, do not forget the things that are successful in your day, because a lot of times people walk around and saying, man, my life really sucks. I can't stand going to work every day. People are getting on my nerves. And all of these are external influences that really influence the way you feel. So you have to detach these external measures and then look for internal measures. Because I tell you what, success in the day is just for me to get up and do some of my morning routine, sip on some EH3 coffee, take a walk in the morning to get my blood circulating. And you know what? If that's the last thing I do that day, there's still a level of success. But of course, I'm going to have some more things that I'm going to want to do. And that's what I want you guys to understand today. Let's look at some short-term success strategies. Well, all right. First of all, it's about setting your goals. Your goals should be SMART goals. And if you haven't heard about SMART goals, that means your goals are specific, they are measurable, they are attainable, they have to be attainable, they are relevant, and they're time specific. So let's break down each one of these in a little bit of detail so that you can start measuring success in a different way in your life. And we'll get back to that right after this word from our sponsor.
The time is now to refresh your career. We help doctors, lawyers, executives, and VIPs refresh and restart. Dr. Jarrett's coaching helps you build confidence, gain more credibility, develop more leadership skills, and gain clarity in your career path. Want to climb the executive ladder or branch out on your own? We'll put your career in overdrive. Visit drjarrett.com and sign up for your free strategy session.
All right, so let's talk about these SMART goals. Let's talk about a goal being specific. The reason a lot of people don't reach their goals is because they're too broad, they're too overarching. They can't be finitely defined. And so when you're setting out on some of these goals, make sure you are picking something that is very specific. Don't pick something like, oh, I want to make $12 million. Well, even though you may want to make $12 million, well, let's do something a little bit more specific. You may want to say, I want to make $12 million in my coaching practice by adding more clients, adding more online courses, and speaking on more stages. That is a more specific goal. And in fact, I would probably break down each of those goals and put numbers to them specifically. Let's look at how you measure a goal. Measurement of a goal can be very specific. It's usually something that is finite. It's usually something that you can measure. So if I had a goal at the outset of this year in that I wanted to produce 30 episodes of my podcast this year, well, that's something that can be easily measured. At the end of 2022, I sit down and I run through all the episodes that I produced this year. And if I produce 30, ding, I make it. If I don't produce 30, okay, well, I didn't hit that mark. However, let's use this example. Say if I only put out 28 episodes this year instead of the 30, that could still be success. It may not hit that exact goal, but you know what? Something is always better than nothing. And 28 episodes is better than 12 episodes, is better than 4 episodes if I was trying to measure 30 episodes. See what I'm saying? A, attainable. So your goals need to be attainable. So $12 million may not be attainable for most people. You may have to scale it back and say, maybe let's start with $1,200. And you have to be realistic in this piece because, yes, you may want to put something out there that stretches you, especially for a long-term goal. But a short-term goal, you may not have the time to stretch that far. And so you need to do something that is attainable. If I wanted to make a goal that I wanted to run for president of the United States in 2024 and start my campaign by the end of 2023, well, that may not really be attainable because I'd have to do some research. I don't know what you really have to do to become president of the U.S., but if that were one of my goals, I'd have to kind of figure that out and then say, well, you know what? I might want to be in local politics first before I jump straight to wanting to become president, because that just may not be attainable. Relevant. Well, what is the relevancy? The relevancy needs to be to you. This needs to be something that you can change in your life. And you are the only one that's going to define if it's relevant to me. So if I want to be president of the United States, well, that is relevant to me, but it's not really attainable. So it's probably not a good SMART goal. And I may not have success based on that specific goal. But it needs to be relevant to something that you are trying to do in your life, whether that's get a new job, whether that's to get a new promotion, whether that's just to get some help along the way. You have to be the one to choose that. And then finally, T is time-based. Put a timestamp on these things so you have a clock to measure yourself. Because, well, you know what? If I want to be president of the United States, that could be in 2040. And you know what? Then I'm just sitting around slowly and not really specifically trying to aim myself towards these goals. So if you are looking for success, put some time limits on it and make some SMART goals, and you'll start racking up successes pretty easily. So finally, fire starters out there, if you are looking to have more success, remember, success is internally validated. It's not something that's external. Success can be had on a daily basis. It doesn't have to be a big, hairy, audacious goal. It can be something much simpler. Like, hey, I got to walk 2 miles today. Maybe tomorrow I'll walk 3. Success. Firestars, I want you to know that you can find success in every aspect of your life because you make the definition. So don't get caught up in what other people define as successful. Don't get caught up in the haters out there that say you're not successful. Simply make a few SMART goals. Take a few SMART goals and start hitting those goals and start realizing success is always within your reach, no matter what your situation. And to my client that had to serve a prison sentence in federal prison and actually did get out, only to have the whole case overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court, by the way. But even after serving that time, coming out and starting that new business, that was a tremendous success for anyone. And you can have success in your life. Just take a moment to chart out a few goals, short-term, intermediate, and long, and success is yours. Remember, fire starters, if you or anyone you know has been dissed, please invite them to join us along this journey. Simply go to your favorite podcast player and hit subscribe so that you can stay up to date on the most important information on career and life changes. And if you want to see what I'm doing in between episodes, check me out on LinkedIn. I'm always doing stuff there. Connect with me, shout me out. Hey, and if you have a question or a topic or something that's been slowing your progress down and you haven't been hitting enough successes, hit me up anywhere. At Dr. Jarrett, email me, info@drjarrett.com. Doesn't matter. Let's hear what you have to say and let's get some success stories in your life. See you next time.
No matter how disheartening the moment of accusation sounds, how deep the pain of immobilization stabs, or how bleak your future looks, no one can take away your license to live. Keep Dr. Jarrett's expertise handy and unlock your future. Go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or another podcast player and subscribe right now to Licensed to Live. See you next time.